Hi, I'm Christine Wilson, Director of Research and Insight at the British Council.
Hello, I'm Tamim Mostafa. I'm working as Senior Program Manager Non-Formal Education in British Council, Bangladesh. Today we'll talk about the Next Generation Bangladesh Research Report. So Christine, would you please tell us a little bit about Next Generation Research Series?
So British Council's flagship youth research, Next Generation, aims to amplify the voices of young people all around the world. We examine their views on the things that make a real difference in their life. So we talk to them about politics, society and the economy. And so on, we try and understand what shapes their lives. We try and understand the aspirations they have, but also the barriers and the challenges they face that might stop them from achieving those aspirations. We've done the research now in more than 20 countries around the world, so we're welcoming Bangladesh into that family. So along the way, we try and engage a number of different stakeholders, and that's partly to promote a more inclusive approach to youth issues. So we want to be able to influence policy and development by making sure that we have real evidence and the voices of young people in that journey. So Tamim, we know that on the 6th of November we had an event to launch the report. So let's talk a little bit about the journey of Next Generation in Bangladesh.
So the journey started last year actually. So we formed a youth task force who were an integral part of the journey throughout the research process. And starting from November and ending in February, the data collection was completed. After that, we took a while to compile the findings and did a few iterations of the report. And now in November 2024, we are launching it. So let's explore some of the intriguing insights from the report. So from the report, we find that over 66% of the young people are online or have access to internet. However, only 47% of the young women have access to internet. So that we can see there is a stark gender disparity and digital divide which needs to be addressed. Over 42% of young people view unemployment as their most pressing concern. 32% of young women recognize the importance of digital proficiency for employment and entrepreneurship. 44% of young Bangladeshis are interested in starting a business in the next 5 years. Very interesting finding is that only 5% of the young people considers climate change as the most pressing issue, although 60% express their concern about climate change. So Christine, you have managed a number of next generation reports across the world. So how do you find the findings of Bangladesh report in comparison with the other reports in other similar countries in the similar context?
I'd actually say that I think young Bangladeshis have a lot in common with their peers worldwide. We see a lot of commonalities across our Next Generation programme. So the value of education, that's massively important for young people around the world, but that's balanced out with the need for financial stability and the ability to get a job. So there's definitely a commonality there. I think the rise of social media, that's something we see with young people all around the world, whether that's in the UK or Iraq or Albania or anywhere in between. So that means I think that digital skills are going to be increasingly important. And again, we see people calling out for that. We see, although they really value education, they want a different sort of education. They want skills that will make them fit for the future. And then I'd say the last thing is that young Bangladeshis talk about this lack of trust they maybe have in the political process. That's absolutely common with young people all around the world, but it doesn't mean that they're disengaged. What we see is young people who are incredibly politically engaged. They feel very passionately about climate change, around equality, around addressing poverty and wider global concerns as well.
So lastly, Christine, we know that this report has offered very pertinent recommendations. But would you please provide some insights, like how could we effectively use these recommendations?
So before sharing the recommendations and moving forward, let's listen to some reflections from some of the participants at our Next Generation launch events.
To fully capitalize the biggest demographic dividend Bangladesh undergoing and to empower the 45 million youth of Bangladesh, we needed to hear and understand what the youths of Bangladesh think. In this regard, the Next Generation Bangladesh report plays a vital role. I'm hopeful that this report has captured the right needs and demands of the youth of Bangladesh.
This report underscores what youth can do and deliver for a sustainable tomorrow.
Investing in youth is one of the most important investment for Bangladesh, we all understand.
Quite important. We've just had a transitional political period led by youth, and I think it's very important to investigate youth's perceptions, attitudes and conditions
I'd say keep listening to young people, and that's something we do with other next generations. We have the report, we launch and share it, but we carry on those conversations. And I think that's really important that that happens here, as I have had in other countries. Again, harnessing the optimism and the creativity of young people. It's really obvious in this report that that's there. It has been in other countries, and I think there could be some real changes made if we continue this conversation, keep listening, and keep making sure there's a space for young people at that policy table as well. So if you're interested in finding out a little bit more about Next Generation Bangladesh, or actually any of the other Next Generation reports we've done, go to the BritishCouncil.org pages and look for Research and Insight.